The Big Ten quarterback list is longer than ever, but is it better than ever? Hey everyone, welcome into the Voice of College Football, best in discussion, debate, and analysis. Please hit the like button and of course subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. We begin our position rankings in the Big Ten at the quarterback position, and the influx from the West Coast is much needed to a quarterback conference that was lacking in 2023. So we begin our rankings at number 18, going all the way up to number 1. And we begin with Northwestern's Brendan Sullivan, who's had starting experience over the past 2 years, although he backed up Ben Bryant this past season. 6 touchdowns, 2 picks, 64% completion percentage, had his best game in an upset win against Maryland, hitting on 16 of 23 for 265 through the air, 2 touchdowns and no picks. Against that vaunted Iowa defense, he had a nice game with a touchdown pass on 12 of 19 passing against the Hawkeyes. In 195 career pass attempts, Brendan Sullivan's completing 69% of his passes. It's his team, it's his game, and he is looking to lift Northwestern to another successful season after that remarkable 8-5 finish in 2023. At number 18 in the Big Ten, he's not a bad quarterback, but he is last on the list. Brendan Sullivan, Northwestern. Early in the 2022 Big Ten season, Maryland had a shot at the big house against Michigan, but Talia Tagovailoa, their quarterback, was taken to the sideline with an injury, and it was up to Billy Edwards to try to keep the Terps in the game. He led a successful touchdown drive against one of the best defenses in the nation, running and passing the football. And Billy Edwards will be called upon to do that consistently here 2 seasons later in 2024. At number 17 on our Big Ten quarterback list, we've got the Terps' Billy Edwards, going to have to fight for his job, but he looks to be the apparent starter despite an awful bowl game showing against Auburn, 6 of 20 passing, despite Maryland winning easily in that game. Billy Edwards is both runner and passer. He's rushed for 8 touchdowns in his career. And again, Talia Tagovailoa, for the first time since 2019, will not be the Maryland quarterback. Billy Edwards, it's up to you. Rutgers must be getting better. This program hasn't been able to dig up one decent starting quarterback for more than a decade, and now they've got 2 fairly capable, definitely experienced starting quarterbacks vying for the job here in 2024. And our Voice of College Football Big Ten quarterback rankings continue with Aiden Calum, leaving Minnesota, where he had the job sewn up. Don't know what this says about PJ Fleck and his program, but he leaves to go to Rutgers to battle Gavin Wimsatt for the job, who led the Scarlet Knights to a 7-6 record, their first bowl victory in a long, long time. And Wimsatt will, of course, be in play to get the starting nod. But we're going with Calum, 53% completion percentage last year, 14 touchdowns and 9 picks for a Minnesota team that won its bowl game to finish at 6-7. Calum taking over for Tanner Morgan in Minneapolis a couple seasons ago. Stronger arm, bigger upside, but he's been a 54% passer over 405 career pass attempts. The arm is near elite. It's strong enough, but he's got to be more consistent, no question about that, to get this starting job at Rutgers and to make the Scarlet Knights a success in 2024. Number 16 on our quarterback list in the Big Ten, Aiden Calum. The number 15 quarterback in our Big Ten quarterback rankings right here at the Voice of College Football has yet to take a snap at the FBS level, but still we've elevated him above some experienced quarterbacks because we believe he's got the goods. It's Max Brozmer of Minnesota, transferring in from New Hampshire, where he was in the top 2 or 3 in most statistical categories, including yards per game and in touchdown passes with 29. He's a big guy at 6'2", 220. He's got a strong arm. He can deliver it. And he was also top 3 in the Walter Payton Award as a finalist for that esteemed trophy to show his leadership and his selflessness. At number 15 on our list, Minnesota's new starting quarterback, Max Brozmer. UCLA fans wanted their 2024 starting quarterback to be somebody else. But that guy is now in an Oregon Ducks uniform, one Dante Moore. Ethan Garbers is your starter, UCLA fans, after 11 touchdowns and 3 picks. He did show up well against rival USC with 3 touchdown passes on an 18 for 31 day, and also against Boise State in winning the bowl game on 9 of 12 for 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions in either game. 65% completion percentage for Ethan Garbers. He was the 4th rated player at his position and number 150 coming out in the 2021 class. He's been a winner at UCLA, and he will most likely maintain the job as our number 14 quarterback in the Big Ten, Ethan Garbers, UCLA. We take you back to September of 2022 and the showdown between Alabama and Texas in Austin. Quinn Ewers taken to the sideline with an injury. Hudson Card comes in with a bum ankle, and that was his calling card. Yes, pun intended. Calling card for Hudson Card was the running game, escaping the defense, the pass rush. He didn't have it that day, though. He played on a sprained ankle and almost upset Alabama. When he left the field, Texas had the lead. Took a Bryce Young game-winning field goal drive on the last play of the game to get it done for Bama. Hudson Card that season in relieving Quinn Ewers, 69% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, and 1 pick. But he saw the writing on the wall, of course. He was never going to get a shot. Quinn Ewers, now Arch Manning, he transfers to Purdue. Has to play under a new head coach in Ryan Walters, still finding his way in West Lafayette. And it was a rough season for the Boilers at 4-8. Hudson Card did turn over the ball a little bit too much, not just with 8 interceptions, but a myriad of fumbles. But so did his teammates. 59% completion percentage, those 15 touchdowns to counter the 8 picks. Hudson Card, next in our quarterback rankings list in the Big Ten. In 2020, he played his first meaningful snaps in a comeback against Rutgers in which he lit up the Scarlet Knights and saved the Wolverines' embarrassment in Piscataway. 1 season later, he was a Big Ten champion at Michigan. And then 1 season later after that, he was out of a job at Michigan. And 1 season later after that, the starting quarterback at Iowa. But having only played now 7 games in the last 2 years, there are questions surrounding Cade McNamara. But at his best, excellent game manager, mobile quarterback, decent arm, great head on his shoulders, great leadership ability. Cade McNamara, Iowa, next on our quarterbacks list in the Big Ten. As the 7th-rated high school quarterback in the country in 2023, Aiden Childs signed to play at Oregon State. But Aiden Childs also signed to play for head coach Jonathan Smith. So, when the coach saw the Pac-12's demise, saw the uncertainty of his program, and took the opportunity at Michigan State and went all the way cross country, so did Aiden Childs. He was soon to follow. Accounted for 7 touchdowns in mop-up duty as a relief quarterback, as a true freshman in 2023. He is ready to take the reins and be the guy in the new era of Michigan State football under Jonathan Smith. The ceiling is high, and our number 11 quarterback in the Big Ten, Aiden Childs. Luke Altmyer originally committed at Florida State, eventually signed at Ole Miss, but when he could not crack the starting lineup, he found a home in Champaign, Illinois. Luke Altmyer is our number 10 quarterback in the Big Ten after completing 65% of his throws, 13 touchdowns, 10 picks. That ratio obviously has to get better. He did lead a remarkable game-winning drive against a 1 defeated, and guess who the 1 was? Of course, Illinois defeated Toledo in the regular season, led that game-winning drive, completing a tremendous 4th and 19 pass, but it was actually John Paddock, the backup quarterback later in the season, who pulled off the heroics a couple different times for this Illinois team. Luke Altmyer, injured this past season, needs to become more consistent, needs to show that 4-star ability. Next on our list of Big Ten quarterbacks, Luke Altmyer, Illinois. What a circus and what a soap opera just to get to this point of Dylan Rayola's career at Nebraska. The one-time Ohio State commit, the one-time Georgia commit, wooed by USC at times, finally makes his way to Nebraska after it appeared all was lost and Dylan Rayola was headed elsewhere. Matt Rhule was able to get the biggest coup of his early tenure in Lincoln. Dylan Rayola appears to be the starting quarterback. Heinrich Harburg has a ton of experience as a backup, and there are other options possibly there, but make no mistake about it. If Dylan Rayola does not emerge in August as the starting quarterback at Nebraska, something's wrong. Early returns from spring practice is that he's catching on to the offense, he's leading, he's making decisions, and the sky's the limit as a 5-star. Dylan Rayola is the savior in Lincoln, and our number 9 quarterback in our Voice of College Football Big Ten rankings. Indiana football gets a fresh start in 2024 with Curt Cignetti as its head coach and is a new quarterback. In from the MAC and Ohio University, Curtis Roor. What a season he had, not in 2023, 2022. 3,300 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, 4 picks. This past season, not bad, 11 TDs, 5 picks. He was a bit injured during the season, but led Ohio to a 10-3 record. Brendan Sorsby has moved on to Cincinnati, so it appears as though Rourke has clear sailing to that number 1 position, but there will be a quarterback battle. Indiana has collected quarterbacks in recent years, but nobody has taken off. Nobody has taken the reins. But this guy, 11 rushing touchdowns, mobile, and can throw it. 25 touchdowns, 4 picks. We did mention that. Yes, our number 8 quarterback in the Big Ten, Indiana's Curtis Rourke. How could a player with 1 career pass attempt be ranked ahead of 10 other quarterbacks and be the 7th ranked quarterback in the Big Ten? Well, let's call it a byproduct of the system. And if he is certainly selected the quarterback at the University of Michigan, then he will prove to be one of the top end quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Put him in the top half at least. And we're looking at Alex Orji. He's the odds-on favorite to win the job. And if he fulfills his potential, and we said it at the time, well, we watched at the Rose Bowl against Alabama last year, maybe a precursor of what Michigan is hoping to get out of Alex Orji, meaning the other side of the line of scrimmage. Jalen Milroe had his rough beginnings as Alabama's starting quarterback. Then he figured it out. Big arm, throw it downfield, 1 read and go. If that guy's not open, take off with it. Alex Orji is a specimen as a runner, and he's most likely going to be Michigan's starting quarterback. However, of course, Jaden Davis is the 4-star top 10 quarterback, 43 touchdowns in his senior season in high school, or Michigan goes the transfer portal route. We'll see who's available following spring practice. But as it stands right now, our voice of college football, Big Ten quarterback rankings at number 7, Alex Orji. In 2021, he turned in a stretch of football that appeared as though it would be the savior of Miami football and the savior of Manny Diaz's job, but it didn't turn out that way for Tyler Van Dyke, and now he's got a new start in Madison, Wisconsin with Luke Fickell. But go back to 2021, look at the stretch of 8 games played by Tyler Van Dyke in which he totaled for the season 25 touchdowns and 6 picks. Every week, he was delivering 350, 370-yard passing games with 3 and 4 touchdown passes. Took down 2 of the best defenses in the ACC that season, Pitt, the conference champion, and NC State. Then Mario Cristobal takes the job. The offense took a step back. There was less emphasis on the passing game, and Josh Gaddis as the new offensive coordinator at Miami. That was not a good thing for Tyler Van Dyke. He let him down. There's no question about that. Turn to 2023, things got off to a good start. TVD rang up the Texas A&M defense for a big 48 points and just ripped him up. Look at the throws. NFL throws all over the place. His arm could never be put in question, but he got worse as the season went on. A lot of bad decisions, a lot of bad throws. Got injured near the end of the season. Tyler Van Dyke, though, has been a gamer in the past. Check out the 2022 Florida State game in which there was no way he had any business of being on the field, but he gave it a go. Tyler Van Dyke, fresh start, big arm with Luke Fickell in Wisconsin, our number 6 quarterback in the Big Ten, TBD. Following the 2023 season, the odds weren't even that good that the number 5 quarterback on our list would even be the starting quarterback at his current school. But Miller Moss showed out against Louisville in the Holiday Bowl with 6 touchdown passes. And if there's something we trust in terms of Lincoln Riley's coaching ability, it would be the evaluation and development and the production at the quarterback position. So Miller Moss starts at USC for 2024 after that splendid holiday performance, and replacing Caleb Williams. It looks to be a much different passing performance and approach by the USC offense. Of course, Caleb Williams, it was basically, hey, stud, make it happen. You make a play and we'll all just watch. Now the offensive linemen are probably looking forward to just, hey, maintaining that pass protection for a couple beats, and Miller Moss will get the ball out of his hand as he did against Louisville and show off that Lincoln Riley offense. At number 5 on our quarterback list, Miller Moss USC. The number 4 quarterback in our Big Ten rankings needs only 246 pass completions to become the all-time leader in the history of college football. So why is Will Rogers only number 4 in our rankings? Well, he certainly had a remarkable career, especially that 2021 season with Mike Leach, may he rest in peace, at Mississippi State. 4,700 yards, 39 touchdown passes. Will Rogers right now is making his way up the charts statistically in the history of college football, but much of that was produced because of Mike Leach. We saw Will Rogers struggle last season for a few different reasons. Zach Arnett, defensive coordinator at Mississippi State, was elevated to head coach. They committed to the run. They looked to the defense to win football games. And of course, he was missing Mike Leach. He was also injured. If you watched the Egg Bowl in particular against Ole Miss, Will Rogers was not himself. He's never had a big arm. He's a drop, look, boom, get it out of your hand and let the playmaker make a play in space. Will Rogers is a very good system quarterback. Hopefully it's the right system with him and Jedd Fisch, who of course has been good for offensive football and quarterbacks in particular throughout his career. So we are looking at a good match, most likely with Will Rogers and Washington, our number 4 quarterback in the Big Ten. You see 25 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and you say, that will get the job done. But Drew Aller did not get the job done in 2023. He needs to be better against the better opponents. The performances against Ohio State and Michigan were pretty awful. And I know that he didn't get a whole lot of help against 2 of the nation's top 3 or 4 defenses. Yes, the line's got to be better. And the playmaking at the wide receiver position, not good for Penn State. And of course, they look to some transfers and a additional season from Keandre Lambert-Smith to help out Drew Aller, who just flat out checked down way too much, appeared lost and dazed and confused sometimes against, in particular, Ohio State and Michigan. He's a 5-star. He's got the ability. Look at him cut it loose against Indiana to win the game on a bomb downfield with the game on the line after he threw his first career interception. So that was impressive. He's got all the makings. He's number 3 on our Big Ten quarterback list. Drew Aller, Penn State. The first time I remember seeing Will Howard play was at Kansas State, of course, in 2022 in relief of Adrian Martinez. And instantly, the Wildcats offense was completely different. They had a passing threat downfield, and Will Howard then led K-State to a Big 12 championship. This past season, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 61% completion percentage. What has changed in Will Howard's life and in terms of expectations is that he has gone from Kansas State, really good football program, to Ohio State, elite football program, and the expectations of winning not just a Big Ten championship, but a national championship. He's got the running ability. He's got the experience over what we saw last year with Kyle McCord leading the Buckeyes offense. Will Howard is a gamer. He likes to run. They're not going to expect him to run. Of course, the litany of offensive weapons around him is going to be so far beyond what he experienced at Kansas State. However, he's coming into a better defensive league as well. The targets on the chest, Will Howard's going to have to fight off a bunch of contenders, but they're young contenders in the quarterback room, so it appears to safely be his job. Our number 2 quarterback in the Big Ten is Will Howard, Ohio State. We could end this quarterback rankings by just throwing up the next player statistics, and I could just walk off the set. He only needs 2,200 yards to become the number 2 all-time passing leader in the history of college football. He needs 30 touchdown passes. That's what he threw last season to become the all-time passing touchdown leader. He's accounted for 151 total touchdowns. And again, he went to UCF initially, lit it up there in the American Conference, steps it up considerably, moving to the Big 12 at Oklahoma, and the outstanding season that Dillon Gabriel turned in, aided most likely by a Jeff Lebby offense that was heavy on the run and really knows what he's doing. Of course, Jeff Lebby has parlayed that into a head coaching job at Mississippi State. Dillon Gabriel may miss Jeff Lebby, but he's now paired with one Will Stein, who knows what he's doing as OC at Oregon. It's going to be difficult for Dillon Gabriel to improve upon what was a near perfect execution by Bo Nix of this Oregon offense, completing 74% of his passes. Statistically, again, one of the greatest passers in the history of college football. Is he that elite? No, but he's extremely good. And I had little decision to make here in terms of naming Dillon Gabriel the number one quarterback in the Big Ten. We appreciate you being here, the voice of college football. Certainly leave those comments and questions down below. As long as these videos are successful, we will deliver position breakdowns and rankings throughout the Big Ten and all the conferences. We will see you soon right here at the voice of college football. Remember, our Big Ten live show is every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we take your calls. See you soon.